Jamaica, land we love, has several different evaluation as a country depending on who it is that you ask. There is always a discourse when Jamaicans are talking about Jamaica, and there are also the perceptions of outsiders that they have of Jamaicans, whether it is that people don't seem to look or sound Jamaicans to them, along with several other stereotypes. Why do these different perceptions exist, and how do we establish understanding of individuals, especially when they see Jamaica in a different way to how we see the island? Let's have a mature conversation about it.
The Jam Fam family. Jam Fam, come hang with me. Yeah.
Hello, Wagwan, big up yourself, whether you're there yard or you're there abroad. Welcome back to another episode of Life with the Jam Fams. And today we're going to be talking about the many different Jamaican perceptions that exist. So if there is any that we haven't mentioned, please do tell us in the comment section below. What is your perception of Jamaica? What are the experiences and influences that have helped to form that view of Jamaica? How much of that is a historical Jamaican overcoming the struggles after independence, localized to specific parishes, to towns or communities? When you think about living in Jamaica, returning to Jamaica, or Jamaicans' current position in the Caribbean or globally, what are some of the things that you think about, or some of the things that comes to your mind? How much of these feelings and thoughts are based on Jamaica's current affairs, its accomplishments in the last decade and a half? How much of it is based on facts rather than just feelings, on distrust rather than pragmatic evaluations? When you share Jamaica with others, how do they see your island? Jamaicans have a range of perceptions about their homeland, viewing it as a place of deep cultural unity and strong community bonds, alongside significant economic depravities and resilience in the face of challenges. Many see Jamaica as a source of vibrant Afrocentric culture expressed through music, language, and spiritual practices, whilst also acknowledging some European influences. Perceptions also highlights the island's diverse populace and its history of resilience and entrepreneurial spirit, leading to a complex view of the nation's identity and future. There are people who believe that Jamaicans should all look a certain way or sound a certain way, that Jamaicans are all Rastafarians, or that Jamaicans are all aggressive. There are those who believe that Jamaicans speak broken English, another common misconception that undermines the linguistic richness of the island. Although there are still Jamaicans who feel that if you talk patois, then simply you are talking bad, or you're uncultured or uneducated, simply because patois is the language that you choose to speak. Additionally, despite the realities of an elite class and a growing middle class in Jamaica, many Jamaicans have the perception that Jamaica is universally poor, and this paints an incomplete and negative picture of the nation. And oftentimes when we have conversation here, we hear some of the views coming out with how people see Jamaica and their perception on protocols and policies and procedures within the country. And of course, there are areas that needs improving, just like there are in other countries. There are things that happens that are going to be disappointing in the way that it's managed, because it's either being inconveniencing to you, it's wasting your time and things like those. Lots of which we highlight and we showcase here on this platform, because we do believe that although we want to showcase some of the positive aspects of Jamaica, we are not going to be oblivious to some of the realities that exist in Jamaica. We do believe, though, that these things are portrayed so much on lots of different platforms that we don't have to perpetually announce it here on our platform. However, we make sure that we inform people of these things so that they are very aware when they're making the choices that they're making. And also, we're showcasing some of the things that we experience from our returning to Jamaica and living here. And some of these are very challenging situations, and we also have some very exciting situations that we experience here on the island. And when we compare, sometimes we see how some people talk Jamaica down. They will make excuse for other nations and their similar inefficiencies, and sometimes they tend to see the negative aspect of Jamaica and not the negative aspect of some of the other countries that they're talking about. And in the same way that they can justify some of the things in other countries, they don't seem to have the same gumption, the same desire to justify some of the things that actually happen in Jamaica, where there are lots of ways in which those things can actually be justified. At the same time, I don't believe that we should use excuses constantly, like playing the victim, or just finding excuses as to why we can't be super efficient, because we are able to be efficient. We have the capacity to be. We see the influences of Jamaicans when they go to other countries and they are working in spheres. We see some of the ways in which they've transformed and those environments that they work and the impact they make. So we know that Jamaicans in Jamaica have that ability. They have the propensity to be very positive, very constructive in their sphere in this country. However, we are also not going to be oblivious to some of the international requirements that Jamaica need to meet, which just increases the bureaucracy under which the country operates to a point where it's just absolutely excessive, coupled with some of the psychological challenges that Jamaicans have experienced over the years and over the decades, and the way in which they treat each other, and just the way in which they treat the country and certain systems and institutions within the country in general. All of those things are things that we need to also factor in and take into consideration. Personally, I was never foreign-minded, never wanted to leave Jamaica, because I actually love Jamaica. And when I did leave Jamaica and went abroad, the things that I had seen on television and the things that I had heard about foreign countries, for the countries that I have visited, for me, when I went initially, it was sort of a little bit of a disappointment. And I have spoken to many other people who have expressed the same view, where some people are rather excited and quite a few are quite disappointed, because when they first enter the country, the expectation they had from all of the hype that they've heard on social media and what they see in movies and things like those, they were expecting something different, which they didn't see when they get there. And of course, people can go off to these places and they can do lots of different things. Some thrive in these environments, others don't. Some are just barely making do in these environments. However, for me, it was never something that I actually desire or pursued. And I know that there are quite a few people who actually want to leave Jamaica. I wasn't one of those people growing up as a child, and that wasn't because I grew up in a wealthy society environment in terms of my family network and my household, my immediate household. It was just because I never had that desire to do that, because I saw the way in which people in my family, although some of them did migrate, I saw how people who remained were able to make a good life for themselves here on the island. And so it was something that I saw would have been something that was very possible for me to do had I remained on the island. So it wasn't something that was attractive to me. I mean, going abroad and visiting other countries, yes. Going abroad to migrate and stay and call another country my home was never something that I had a great inclination towards when I was growing up. And so my perception of Jamaica was formed in my experiences that I had when I went abroad, and more so when I went to the UK, because when I saw certain things that were happening there, I was able to see how some of these things became part of Jamaica, and I started to gather insight from some of the things that I learned there and experienced there, and see how those would have had an impact on Jamaica when it before independence and even after independence, and still evident in society today. And so when I look at Jamaica, sometimes people might think that, oh, I'm downplaying, or I am not wanting to accept and acknowledge some of the things. I do accept and I do acknowledge that Jamaica has challenges, but I'm also very conscious of where those challenges comes from, and I'm conscious of the work in progress to get through some of those challenges. And so sometimes when we have certain perception of our country, we need to dig deeper into the things that aren't told to us on the face value. So we need to go into the deeper constructs of why things are happening. For example, some of the things that people say about Jamaica in terms of its governance and the corruption and bribery and things like those. I would never say that those things don't exist, because they exist in every country. They're just termed in different ways. They're called different things. For example, bribery in other countries is called lobbying. So even the very terminologies that they use when they're talking about different things like that, when you hear people talk about corruption in certain countries like Jamaica, actually that's something that's projected, because the countries who are taking our resources for little of nothing, that used to do it when we were colonized, and those regulations and contracts were decades old and continued after, had to justify why it is that we have all these resources that should give us so much money, and we are not seeing it in our country. They had to justify that. They can't possibly make it seem that it is that they're exploiting the countries, especially countries in the global south. So the coining of calling countries in the global south corrupt came from where exactly? And so we need to just come to the point where we start to understand. It doesn't mean that we're justifying things that are definitely wrong and shouldn't be happening. It just means that our perception gives us an opportunity to also understand some of the challenges, look at ways in which we can help to alleviate them, and also make suggestions as to things that could be done differently and better for the betterment of all Jamaicans in every walk of life. Let me know some of the perceptions you have of Jamaica. We see quite a few of them sometimes in the comment section as they pop up from different people. And so we just wanted to have this conversation here just to see how some of the people view Jamaica. So we know Jamaica has challenges. Jamaica is a young country and still developing and maturing. And so it has a lot of challenges that it is working to overcome. So what are some of the things that you see when you look at Jamaica that you think could be improved? Give us your suggestion. And what are some of the perceptions you've come across with others that isn't your perception of Jamaica? Do tell us in the comment section below. We look forward to reading them. So Eliona and I are going to make pizza. So we had pizza the other day. Don't need to say the name of the company, but we bought pizza. It's a company we know from the UK, so we decided we're going to get pizza there. And we had pizza, and it was. I thought it was very cheesy and moist, but my problem was it was salty. What was yours? What was your assessment of it?
I liked it.
You liked it. So did you find it salty as well? Okay, I thought it was.
I'm used to Jamaica's MSG.
Okay, so I guess Eleona's gotten to the point now where she never complained about the saltiness, but when she just came, she used to complain about it, like, why is this so salt? Why is this so salt? Yeah. So we are going to try and make pizza. We've done it before since we've been here. It's something we do whilst we were in the UK too. And so today we're going to make some pizza. Are you up for this? Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready for this? Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready for this? She's like, mommy. But I'm going to be showing you what we're going to put in there. Yeah. Did you want to add anything else to it? Or do you fine with those? Okay. So do you want to say why we're putting them? Why we're putting Connie?
Because that's what we like to put on there.
Yep, that's it. So we're making yeast free.
Can we do a half and half?
Okay. You want to do half of it with something and then half of it with another thing?
Because I don't want that one. The pepper.
Okay. That's fine. So we just put pepper on half of it and not on the other half then. So that's the only thing you don't want. I'll let you taste that pepper, and then you can
No.
finally decide if it's too spicy or not.
It's not about the spice. Because,
You just don't want the pepper?
Yeah.
Okay,
I
that's
only
fine.
like green bell peppers
That's okay.
on it.
Okay then. So we don't have green bell peppers with us because we use all the pepper we had in our season blend. So this is it.
And you can't put the season blend in there.
No. So this is our version of pepperoni. So it's chicken. And we are going to be using baking soda, because baking powder rather, and some cooking oil to help us with getting it raised, because we're not going to use yeast. So we're going to use regular all-purpose flour, and these are our other toppings. So we're going to put some pineapple,
which is the only good pizza ingredient in existence.
Yep. And we're also going to put some sweet corn on it. So pineapple and sweet corn is what we're going to use. So we're going to get started on this.
And also, I don't want the pepperoni on all of the pizza.
Okay, so you want me to just spread it? So the chicken...
Not on all of it, because sometimes I might not want it on there.
Okay, so we don't
normally get meat when I order pizza.
That's what I thought. Because we normally just do vegetable ones, so we're going to just try this one with the meat. Mm-hmm. So we're going to see how it goes. Do you want us to try stuffed crust or just do it normal?
It's going to be very hard.
Okay, we'll try it. And we've tried it before. And remember when you did make it the last time? When you did do it by yourself? And it was the cheese was so nice and stretchy, remember? That was so good. But when you made
the cheese pocket,
mm-hmm.
It was like, it's the same thing as the crust, but without the pizza, and it was full of cheese.
Okay, so we're going to go and do this, and of course we're going to put lots of cheese topping on there. I took out all of the ingredients except the tomato paste, so I'm going to get that, and I'm going to get the dough started. Yeah. Okay. Concentration face. Oh, because you are concentrating.
No, because everybody that's what you say.
That's not true.
Yes.
Okay.
Concentration face.
Oh, so you're not concentrating?
I am, but I just expected you to say that.
Okay. Well, that's Eleona's. What do you call this now? Stuffed crust.
Yeah.
So Eleona decides she wants stuffed crust, and we agree. So she's just done the stuffed crust, and now we're going to put on the tomato puree and get our act together. Okay, I'll get the other stuff then whilst you do that, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm going to get ready to put it in the oven then once you finish. Hey, go it! And that's the final product. Woo! Nice and warm, smelling so good. So I'm going to get myself ready. Yay! You did what?
Put the hole in it with the knife.
Why?
To differentiate the size.
Okay, but I can see the bit where the green peppers are. So that's my side. Hey, pizza!
Imagine eating pizza on a rainy day.
Oh gosh. We're going to share out with pizza and eat it.
The Jam Fam family. Where I read. living the good life. We're royal, cruising through the West Indies, having fun, enjoying the good life. Jam Fam family, the Jam Fam family, yeah. The Jam Fam family. We're Irie, living the good life. We're royal, cruising through the West Indies, having fun, enjoying the good life. Jam Fam family, the Jam Fam family, yeah. The Jam Fam family. Jam Fam, come hang with me, yeah.
Thank you so much for staying with us here on this another episode of Life with the Jam Fams. We are appreciative of you continuing to support us and your consistency. Bye for now. Do take care, and we look forward to seeing you in the next one.